All right, in this video, I'm going to share with you why it is very important for you, especially Indians, because my target audience is Indians, and my experience has been with Indians, Indian families, Indian friends, Indians, everything. Why you, as an Indian man or Indian woman, must leave your parents, your friends, your society, your environment, and move out. That is the only way you're going to change. That is the way you're going to grow up. That is the only way you're going to evolve and become either the best or the worst version of yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that if you do that, you will succeed in life. That doesn't mean you will not make mistakes. That doesn't mean that you will, maybe, you might even regret. But I can assure you this much, you'll not be the same person that you were once you leave the nest. Just take out your wings, flap, and fly off. All right. Now, let's start off with the core basics. I am a Mangalorean. Mangalorean roots, even though my real father was Malayali, but my mother, father, stepfather, and my other family members where I was raised were all Mangaloreans, settled in Bombay, but I was raised in Dubai. Okay, so massive cultural mix, but my whole shtick that was we were in Dubai. But still, we had a Mangalorean community. We had a Catholic community. We had the typical South Indians, birds of the feather flock together. And yes, Dubai did offer opportunities to mix with Pakistanis, to mix with the North Indians. There were Goras, there were Emiratis. My parents, they were not very friendly with the whites, but they were my mother especially, very friendly with the Emiratis, locals. Even the Sheikh family, those days you could bump into them. However, the core was always Catholic, Mangalorean, South Indian, and conservative. Okay. And we had the typical, the same old boring routine that was followed. We would go namesake to church, or sometimes once a week, sometimes many times during the week to church in the morning. We would meet the same relatives. We would meet the same friends. Friend circle was very small, mostly relatives. We would celebrate Christmas and Easter and birthdays, and he would go to his house, he would go to his house, he would go to his house. And even the gifts that we would give crystal glasses because they looked expensive but were cheap. I would give it to, my family would give it to them. A would give it to B would give it to C, D, E, F, and he'll finally come back to us. In fact, we were even shocked that what we gave a couple of years ago came back to us. It's so funny to think about it. So, and yes, the typical snacks, they would have cheap sausages and cheese and fried chicken, and chicken that was served later because it was slightly expensive, chips and crisps and Pepsi, and they try to make it low budget but happy, everyone's happy. And they would play games like bingo, tambola, a little bit of singing, some Hindi songs here and there, and sometimes they would bore the shit out of us by praying. Oh, I hated that. Okay, so I lived in this environment and I thought this was the world. There was practically no internet, no meeting anyone else. This is what we thought was reality. In fact, the only memories I had where we tried something new was when the company that my stepfather worked for, they had maybe a annual get-together in some 5-star hotel or some 3-star, where they would have whites and everyone else meet, and they would be like, wow, new people, wow, there's a world out there. Or they would go once in a blue moon to some shopping mall. There was only one shopping mall those days. You're talking 1980s, Al Ghurair Center. Okay, Sindabad. Those who have been in UAE from 1980s would know this. Okay, so I never grew up. Grew up in the sense, the same church, same people, same relatives, same friends, same everyone. So it was like, I didn't know I was not growing, but I thought I was growing, but I was not. Same people, same everything. But deep down, obviously, if you know my family videos, if you check Loy Machedo, father and mother or parents, I was in a very broken, abusive, horrible family environment where my stepfather would beat me until blood used to come. I've told you that. He used to beat me violently with a rubber cane in the name of God, religion, or whatever. He used to use that as a crutch and excuse. And my mother was only interested in making money. She looked at me as an investment where she would get a ROI, and she would compare me. My typical Mangalorean family had this habit. Oh, that girl is so nice. Oh, that boy is so nice. Oh, he's a rank holder. You're dumbass. You're stupid. You're this. That is how they used to. That was the upbringing. That was the environment. My grandmother used to use the Mangalorean bad word, son of a bitch, bastard, dirty blood, because my first father, why were you born? You should have died. That was the upbringing that I was raised in. They were only interested in school. School was memorized. So if I didn't get good marks. I was stupid, dumb, and I'd get beatings very badly. They didn't care about dancing. They didn't care about singing. They didn't care about debating. Nothing at all. Just memorize, learn, study, get up, read those boring books. In fact, if I got any book which was story book or anything, they would tear it. Seriously, no? They would tear. Okay. So very toxic environment. So deep down, I was dying to get out of this place. Dying. And any chance I could get, especially once I became a teenager, if I could stay out of the house, I would stay out the whole day. Whole day. Just go out, walk around, roam around, hang out in the church. There was a playground there, meet with the friends. I never wanted to be at home. I just never wanted. It was like, so I would just wait for the curfew time of 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock evening and come back to sleep. That's it. So the day I was able to, I did run away from home 2, 3 times, but ended up coming back because my parents, they just wanted me back, I guess. They wanted someone to control. My stepbrother was there. He was, I think, 10 or 11 years younger to me or whatever, too young. So finally, when I did get a permanent job, my first ever job, that is after being unemployed for nearly 2 years, nobody was there to guide me how to get a job or go for an interview or resume, whatever. I got a job in a home theater system, which was run by a guy who worked for Emirates Airlines. He was a purser, the senior most guy. He used to travel to Thailand, Bangkok. He used to travel to other destinations and get home theater, projector, amplifiers, CD systems, music systems, stuff which was not available in the UAE. And he had a rich niche clientele. So I was not like a shopkeeper working, in a shopkeeper. It was a very comfortable job. So once I got away from my parents full time, even though I experienced freedom, even though I knew what it was being outside, now it was full time. I could sleep alone, go meet whoever I wanted, sit up full night, eat whatever I liked. If I wanted to start my day eating a chocolate, I could eat. If I wanted to have a 3 o'clock at night, go for a late night snack, whatever restaurant was open. Those days, there was no Burger King or McDonald's or whatever. Talking of 30 years ago in UAE, there was, but very far off. So I was living the life of my dreams. I could watch movies and not sleep at all. I could go to the gym. I could spend my money the way I like. I could get girls. It was a shop, so nobody was watching. I could get girls and do all the nonsensical stuff. Yeah, fun stuff those days. Okay. So I was living the life of my dreams, which was freedom. I could eat in any restaurant. I could watch any movie. I could spend the money. I could do whatever I want. And it was, I would say, the best years of my life. Like, it was like college, which I didn't go for, which I dropped out. But it was college without having to study. And I enjoyed my life. And I'll tell you, right off the bat, I made the maximum number of dumbass choices, maximum number of mistakes, all the rubbish that a young man could do. Thankfully, minus smoking, drinking, drugs, I did everything else. And I enjoyed it. I'll tell you, it was a blast because I don't have any responsibility, no wife, no children, no nothing. But that helped me learn most things about myself, satisfy those urges, those fantasies of being with girls. Or yes, I even accidentally, because my friend who was elder to me took me to pay for paid sex, which I don't suggest. Luckily, I never got addicted to it. I just found it very mechanical because there was no romance, nothing. I was a romantic bum those days. Okay. In my whole life, done it maybe 4 or 5 times, which I also don't suggest you do. But if you do it, remember, STD, be careful, use protected sex. Okay. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done. I spent the money I shouldn't have spent. Did I permanently damage myself in some ways? This is before the tattoos. Yes, steroids. Yes, in terms of career. Yes, in terms of money. But then it helped me become the person that I'm today. Because of all those mistakes, I became who I am today. But it helped me become who I am. It helped me discover who I was. It helped me realize, okay, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, different religions, different faiths, girl conservative, girl who's modern, girl who's white, girl who's Chinese, girl who's Asian. I went around with all of them. Then living in an expensive neighborhood, living in a cheap neighborhood. I'll tell you, I experienced freedom, even freedom to get up in your own apartment. I had a room first, obviously, bed space. But once I had my apartment, you can roam naked. Nobody's there to question you. You can have 2 girls, 3 girls. I'm not saying I had that, but you get what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want. You can get up at 3 in the morning and go for a drive or go to have a snack. Or I literally lived my life on my terms. For me, you'll be surprised to know the thrill was to eat chocolates early in the morning, which you should not. But I was eating chocolates early in the morning. I was eating fried foods. I was eating junk food. Why? Because my parents never allowed me to do all this. And yes, they never bought anything for me. I even went to 5-star hotels. Burj Al Arab, those days, it was supposed to be like only the sheikhs used to go there. I went there. I spent nearly, I think, $2,000 just to experience what it is to eat in a VIP outlet, which I shouldn't, which I now look back and laugh because yes, it's a Michelin star, it's a expensive joint, but experience, right? So it helped me grow. And today, at the age of 50, because I did all this circus, I'm become today a better coach, better mentor, better father, better guide to others. Had I continued with the same lifestyle, the same choices, the same friends, the same family, the same church, the same parents, when I look back, when I look back, or if I get in touch with any of my old friends, school friends, relatives, they're the same. They're like, yuck. And I think to myself, who the hell, like, how the hell did I even tolerate being with them? Trust me, when I accidentally sometimes some old relative or friend of mine gets in touch with me and yeah, they tell me, Loy, you sound the same. You're still the happy-go-lucky. Yeah, because I'm being nice to them, but I'm not being the way I'm supposed to be because I'm very different when I deal with people. The nicey guy, the understanding guy, I'm not with them. And people think by talking to me for a few minutes, they think they know me. They have no idea that how I've changed. And I don't want to show them because it's not required. They're not my client. They are nothing important. And they think, oh, he's the same old Loy. If I meet him, I can still bully him. I can still insult him. I can still make fun of him. I can be sarcastic with him. They are just lucky that I respect the old friendship. Because if I stand my ground, the relationship will break in seconds. Because I'll tell you, almost 90% or 99% of all my old friends, relatives, schoolmates, people I used to hang out with, I don't want to see their faces here. I'm not saying that I'm superior to them or I'm better than them. We're just different. I don't know how I was able to survive in that place. It is, sorry to say, but it is nothing that I would choose for me or anyone in my family. I just don't like that culture, that environment, that religion, that society, that background. Seriously, I just don't like it. It's like what choices you made when you were 20 or 30. You'll not make the same choices when you're 60, 70. You understand? We change with time. That is why they say, if you get married too early, you'll end up getting divorced because you were different. Your choices were different. Your likes, dislikes were different. Now it has changed. So same thing with me. So, if I were to encapsulate the whole conversation that I'm having with you is, as long as you're with your mother, father, brother, sister, friends, college, friends, society, environment, religion, you'll think, act, behave, and you'll be like that. That is why people who travel around the world, that is why people who move to a different country, that is why people who leave their family, leave their friends, they change, they evolve. Yes, maybe they'll become bad, maybe they'll become worse, maybe they'll become better. That's subjective in nature, but the real side, the real personality, the real person comes. So if you want to discover who you truly are, you want to explore and you want to discover the whole world that is out there, you need to get away from your parents, friends, society, religion, everything. And then once you are alone, you make your own choices and you become the person that you think I would ever make this decision to get tattooed or to marry a Thai girl or to take up this career as a coach or a YouTuber or whatever. It's not acceptable at all. In fact, being an atheist is a massive taboo from where I come from. And that is why I keep away from Indian society, Indian friends, Catholics, Mangaloreans. I'm not saying that they're bad. You just can't get along with them. Please. You're nice people. You're better than me. Just leave me alone. I'm happy. And that is why maybe today I'm a much more better parent, friend, husband, individual. And most important is I'm happy. So, all those relatives and friends and people who first made fun of me, laughed at me and predicted gloom and doom, once they did the same thing I did, move away to another country, have new friends, new people, new environments, they all reached out back to me and said, we were. So anyway, I speak to you from a vantage point of making all the mistakes in life, learning from them, growing and evolving to what I'm today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree with what I have to say? And please do comment because I definitely read. And if you can share your experience, it'll be great. Because remember, you will not change at all until you change everything. That is why so many people who are religious stop being religious. So many people who are nationalistic, Hindutva, hardcore about Indian, they suddenly see the world and they realize, no. Yeah, there are some people who never change no matter what. That's a different ballgame altogether. But I can assure you this, once you experience all the options the world has to offer, the whole world is your playground, you'll make much more different choices. Trust me, from the girl you marry, to the partner you're with, to the job career you take, to the food choices, to your lifestyle, everything changes. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. It's me signing. Yeah, bye.